All right, boys. Episode 29 of Don't Spoil the Ending. I'm your host, Joe.
I'm Nick.
I'm Sam.
And hi, I'm John.
Fantastic. Are we all okay? Yeah.
All very good, yeah.
Pretty good. Yep.
We're here for another great episode.
Yep.
Fantastic episode.
What's your favourite crisps? Let's get this boxed off now. What's the best crisp?
Quavers.
It's not Quavers.
It is Quavers.
It's definitely not Quavers. They're too...
Mine are Quavers, Joe.
That's not a right answer. It's not on the board. No, I'm gonna say Texas barbecue, Pringles,
I'm not going for your sensations.
chili sensations. They're good. I like
I
them.
like a good chili sensation.
Yeah.
McCoy's.
Go out in the cold if you want a chili sensation. Yeah.
I'm party to.
Party with Doritos.
No, I quite like McCoy.
A McCoy. Which one? Flame grilled steak.
Steak, yeah, they're nice.
That is a good one. Yeah. John?
I'm going smoky bacon Walkers.
I can't have them anymore. They're not vegetarian anymore.
What did they used to be?
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, I wonder what they've changed.
They probably rub bacon.
Juice, bacon
Yeah.
juice.
Actually started real bacon flavouring.
Because there was a time where cheese and onion crisps were vegetarian, and then they stopped being vegetarian for a bit, and then they started being vegetarian again. Like, it's really strange.
That's weird.
Yeah. So we can all agree though that Quavers is the wrong answer.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I was thinking bacon Pringles.
I'm on Inman's side with that one. I quite like a Quaver.
Oh,
I'm also fully against John with the smoky bacon. I think they're the worst crisps on the planet.
I mean, I do like Quavers, but they're not my favourite. Like, yeah.
why have a Quaver when you can have a skip?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, they're Quavers, but better.
Yeah, they're like better flavoured crisps.
Yeah.
Well, better
not
flavoured.
as crunchy. There's like mulch
Softer.
up in your mouth. It's horrible.
What about discos?
Disco's very nice. Like
Pretty good.
discos.
I like a good disco.
I'll throw a curveball out there. An old flavour, Bovril flavour from the 80s.
I've never had that.
Can't get it anymore. Yeah, they were amazing.
Oh, shout out to Bovril.
Bovril flavoured Smiths
Is this a
crisps.
Walker's crisp? Or?
Smiths.
Oh, Smith's crisp.
Yeah, Walkers have bought them now, but they haven't brought it back.
The crisps of my youth were Seabrooks, which are still around now, but
Yeah, I don't mind them.
Seabrooks have changed. They've not got as much flavouring on now.
I know they used to be
Right.
full of flavour when
Yeah,
I was a
used to be.
kid. They were amazing.
Seabrook prawn cocktail.
Yeah,
Spot on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like scampi fries?
I can't have them.
Are they crisp or
Well, they only like fish sticks.
they're like a maize-based corn snack?
Explain to me what it is first.
Little bag,
Yeah.
basically crisps, but they're called scampi fries.
So they're like fish crisps.
But they're really strong flavoured. But they're
Do you like the
nice.
French fries, like the sticks?
They're like pork scratchings.
They're
but-
kind of like that. But
Yeah, no, we're
flavour.
not counting them. No,
They are still crisps.
I'm not having this.
And bacon fries, same kind of thing. They're basically frazzles, but better.
Frazzles are good.
Frazzles.
They're a good show.
Well, these are better.
I'm once again going against the grain with that one. I don't like frazzles.
What about knickknacks?
I like a knick-knack.
Yeah, I've probably covered enough crisps.
What? No, you haven't. Beef Monster Munch, they're always pretty good.
No, I prefer the chili Monster Munch.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. More on crisps next week.
I'll
Let's
come prepared next week.
let's talk about like what we would normally talk about, which is films, TVs,
I think
TVs.
Like a Panasonic one.
Film, TV.
I actually forgot it was an entertainment podcast for a minute there.
Well, before we get on to that, Sam, you're back on the show this week. Where have you been?
Oh yeah.
Went to Barcelona last week.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't on last week.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good, apart from the 10 seconds where I got robbed. And I got
We
my
covered
phone,
it last week, so
and I got
if
my
you want
phone
to recap
back.
it.
But yeah, some guy came up behind me, grabbed my phone out of my hand, started running off, and luckily a passerby stuck his arm out. We think he must have kicked him as well because of the way the thief went down. So as he was going down, though, he like launched my phone away, which I saw slide across the glass screen along this stony like paved floor. I was like, oh dear. So I went over to get my phone, and then I must have just walked past the guy who was still on the floor. We all kind of just like walked off pretty casually. Just got my phone back. It's all okay. So
Cool. Well,
other than that, yeah, new camp. Went to new camp.
yeah, what was that like?
Sick. Really good.
Were you
Loved
ill?
it. Nope.
You said it was sick. And I was like,
Can I ask you, I timed it well because today, 4:30, Catalonia has gone independent, I believe, from what I've heard.
That's
in the
true.
office. Yeah. And Madrid have passed a motion straight away in the Spanish courts saying we are taking rule of this country, area, community. And Madrid are like, civil war breaking out in Spain.
Well, the thing, because
I might be over exaggerating.
I'm gonna go back to the football. Like, but when I was at the stadium, there was
forget your topical conversation, John. Let's talk about Barcelona.
I'm gonna tie it into football, okay? When I was at the new camp, they were obviously holding up a lot of Catalonia flags and stuff like that. But it has been mentioned on like other football podcasts that around Spain they've been holding up more Spanish flags than they normally would. So Real Madrid, for example, were holding up Spanish flags, show that they're in support with the nation.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, I don't know if it was like, I'm going to throw Malaga out there. I don't remember if it was Malaga, but when this all kicked off, they started wearing Spanish flags on their kit, even though they've never done that before.
Las Palmas have a Spanish flag.
Oh, right, might be that one then.
Even Las Palmas are sort of like Gran Canaria, so they're off on the
Yeah.
aren't they?
They've got their own little thing going on, but they're more on the Spain side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the Basque part
Bilbao.
of Spain?
Is it Bilbao and...
Real Sociedad
Sociedad.
is nearby.
Yeah.
Because they have their own flag.
Yeah, I've been to Bilbao and they're the same with their flags. They fly the Basque flag more than anything else, and sort of they recruit all their players from that area. Don't
Well, I was
often
gonna
have
say-
outsiders.
I might be completely massacring this stat, but didn't Sociedad always have a Basque team until like John Aldridge joined in like 1987 or something like that?
I can't remember.
He was the first
know about
non-Basque player or
Yeah.
something. And it was caused outrage at the time, but then he scored a lot of goals. So they're like, yeah, let's keep him.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're back, Sam.
Yeah,
Did you watch the film for the week?
I have not.
Oh, okay. See you next week, Sam. This week we're doing Antichrist. So this is we didn't even say that this is our Halloween show, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Spooky.
It is, yep.
Happy Halloween.
Yep,
Happy
Shocktober.
Halloween, yeah.
Yeah.
Not feeling it.
Don't feel too spooky.
I
Not in
agree.
Halloween spirit.
No. No. It's nearly Christmas.
Yeah.
Can I mention something? I think we've all noticed at work a few Halloween decorations have gone up. How do we all feel about this?
Hate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
me too.
I've got no issue with it.
No feelings on the matter.
No.
I hate that doorbell downstairs that rings every 5 minutes.
This is way over the top, those. Just
Yep.
don't understand it.
I hate that skeleton thing with the lights up eyes on the door.
Just like, are you just scared?
Yeah, because when you lock it up, it's fucking terrifying. No, yeah, I just don't like. I don't like it.
You don't like fun.
Don't like it.
So, are you the fun police now?
Maybe.
Sounds
yeah.
like I've passed that baton right over.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah. Sorry, I don't know how I got onto that, but
We were talking about Halloween.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Well, we haven't really got a spooky show this week, other than Antichrist is our film, which
Yeah.
we'll go on to later.
Which,
Not the Antichrist. Antichrist.
not to give too much away, but I think it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll cover that in a bit. Should we move on to like TV or anything?
TV sounds good.
Start with TV this week.
Yeah.
Has anyone watched anything?
Well, we've got Louis Theroux. Oh, we've got Louis Theroux and The Walking Dead, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about that.
Oh, well, that's something for the... I was going to say spooky, but
Yeah.
not as spooky. Is it?
It's scary.
Should we talk about Walking Dead first?
Shall we? Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
Should we do it without spoilers?
Yeah.
No spoilers.
I'll
for
just
Inman.
sit with my fingers in my ears.
Do you want to tell the listeners how far behind you are in them?
I'm about a season behind, I think. Maybe a season and a half.
Right.
Let's
It's not the running dead, guys.
What-
He's what he's walking through.
Let me just say, like, I think you should just give up now. Well, honestly, just stop watching it because, well, you like at the beginning of that. How many episodes are in a season? Like 20 or something?
16, I think.
16. Right, so you've got about 14, like nearly 14 hours, 15 hours
Yeah.
of TV. That's 15 hours you'll never get back. Just think of it that way, honestly. Never,
like-
never. Don't even bother.
It's like dead air, isn't it?
Well,
Like I'll this pilot episode of this season, it was supposedly the 100th episode of the series. So I was thinking like, all right, they always do a good job on the pilot of a season. I keep calling it a pilot. It's not a pilot. It's just a premiere, isn't it? The season premiere of the season. So, and it's the 100th episode, so they're going to try harder. I was like, this is going to be sick. And I don't know if it's because I went in thinking that I got utterly disappointed, but it was awful. It was such a bad episode, and like I've said that about previous episodes when I kind of enjoyed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But this one, I hated it. It was just terrible. Like the acting was shoddy. The storyline was wank. Everything about the episode was just awful.
Ultimately, my whole issue with the whole show, which applies to this episode as well, is just nothing happens
And
of any
nothing happens,
consequence. Just not. It just feels like just wasting time watching the show. Yeah. But my other big issue is, I feel like the people making this show think they're making like Lawrence of Arabia or something. They're making this big sweeping drama.
Yeah.
It's like you're making like a goofy zombie show. They have these big shots of Rick giving speeches on top of cars, like we need to fight. And it's like,
and that was crap speech, you know.
Yeah, shit.
There's too many of those speeches. Like,
But
I did get bored halfway through and go, shut up.
It wasn't even like inspirational or anything. I was just sat there going like, I feel nothing for this speech.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Yeah, you need to feel something for the character before they actually can do that.
And then Negan comes on screen, and I told you last year, all you get with Negan is, God damn, Rick, are you gonna do this again?
I will admit, like that was probably the only good bit of the episode.
Yeah, the only bit I put up.
Because I actually quite like Negan, like that character. Like, what's his name? Sorry,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I think he's amazing, and he does a great job of portraying Negan.
Yeah.
Just take everything else of the show away from Negan, and you've got a good show there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I hate the pretension of it, the way that you have these rousing speeches with like soft music underneath. Oh, I hate all that. And how stupid the characters are in the show. There's one bit, no spoilers here, remember, but there's one plan involving zombies turning up at a certain place in a certain time. And they're there watching, going, they should be here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then they're like, oh, the zombies aren't here. Oh, God. Oh, wait, here they come. They're coming around the corner. The zombies, like, stick to schedule or something. What?
Did they not check the watch?
Yeah, to the second. Like, it's like, yeah, they might just be... The zombies, they might be a couple of seconds late. Like, don't cancel your whole plan because they haven't turned up on the attack. Yeah, so I just hated it.
Something happened in that bit. It was Daryl when he was like, "Oh, here they are." And for some reason, when people do that in shows, it makes me laugh. I'm just like, "Well, yeah, everyone can see him. You don't need to point out. Oh, look, they're over there." Like,
everyone's turned around and gone, "Oh, they're not turned up." And he's like, "No, wait, look." Oh, awful.
I fell off that show a long time ago, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, well, I didn't even watch the second half of last season. I just thought, I'll get back into it again, and I always do this. I don't think I've seen the second half of the last 2 seasons.
Well, like last season, I genuinely thought, it's gonna pick up here. They got Negan, he's gonna breathe new life into the show, and for the first episode, it kind of did.
Yeah,
but then after that, it went back to walking and talking, and nothing.
Not a fan. I mean, I'm probably going to stick with it for now, but
to be honest, I am complaining, but I guarantee I'll watch this entire season. I always do.
Part of the problem.
It's yeah.
It's what they say about wrestling all the time. It's like not all, but a lot of fans are all like, wrestling shit these days, but they'll keep on watching. Never get any better.
I think what it is, I'm in too deep now, and I like. That's the most worrying thing, because like the showrunners are saying we can go up until the season 25. I'm like, I can't be watching this for another 17 years. Like, I'm not doing it.
I can't imagine like on season 25, if I was still watching it, saying to myself, I've watched this show for 25 years. I'd be like,
but nope. I mean, I don't see that happening anyway, because I'm pretty sure this episode, like the viewers were plummeted. And people apparently like people who tuned in on TV are just like, I think almost halved or maybe more for this episode. And even the pirates don't want to watch it. Pirate downloads have halved as well for this in comparison to last season. So yeah, no one cares about Walking Dead anymore. Might finally get the death it should have got after season 1.
I just think with any show, you have a natural shelf life, and like people try to go beyond it, and you should just, by series 7 at the most, you should be trying to wrap a show up. I think Game of Thrones is suffering from that now. And yeah, this one, like, they have plans to go to. They're doing Fear the Walking Dead. They're doing all this other stuff. It's like you can't. People will get bored. You cannot drag it out for this long.
That's what they think, don't they? They definitely think like people are just going to keep tuning in forever, and they're going to keep making the show forever, because there are millions and millions of people tuning in like for every episode. But like I say, it's half this season, so hopefully it's going the way that it should go.
Yep.
Dead.
Final point on Walking Dead. They're doing I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago, but they've confirmed it recently, or one of the producers, I think, has mentioned it. But there's going to be a crossover between Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
And it's confirmed now. So a character, well, yeah, I think it's a character from Fear the Walking Dead is going to appear on The Walking Dead.
You say a pair of the staying on The Walking Dead?
Don't know, but it's supposed to be a big character on the. I haven't seen it, so
it's a weird one because they're at different timelines, aren't they? Both shows, so how it's going to work?
I'm pretty sure. Like, although I think we've actually discussed this off the pod before. Like, I'm pretty sure one of them's on one side of America, one of them's on the other side of America.
Fear the Walking Dead was in California, but they got on a boat, so I don't know where they went to after that.
They went to Mexico, though.
Did they? And then Atlanta is where The Walking Dead is based.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, not yeah. Okay.
I like the idea of getting on a boat on The Walking Dead, and because that's something they've not done on the main show, isn't it?
It was quite. And to be fair, that was like. Did you watch that when they were on the boat?
I watched series 1 of it, and until they got on the boat.
Because like that, I actually found that quite interesting when they did that. Because I don't know if it was the second season where you've seen it more, but like there's loads of underwater zombies and like that. That was something new. I was like, I like that. Instead of pouring molten iron onto them, turn them into shit zombies that way.
There was just one little bit in this week's episode as well where
Spoilers.
Not a spoiler. The camera pans over like a camp, and it shows all the zombies outside. And there's one zombie like with a spear through it, like stuck to the floor, and he's just walking on the spot like, It looked so shit. So like they've told the actor just act like you're walking, and it's like, oh.
Even the spear looked like it was just under his armpit.
Yeah, just blipped off or something like yeah. Not impressed.
No. All right. Yeah, more TV stuff watched.
Louis Theroux.
Watch Louis Theroux.
No, I've missed this week's episode, but let me know what it's about.
We have spoke about the last two episodes, haven't we? So might as well finish it off with because this is the third and final, isn't it?
Is it only a series of 3 then?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
All right.
So we might as well finish it off. And this one's called Murder in Milwaukee. Is it?
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Milwaukee, and it's about the sky high gun crime in Milwaukee, which, well, like the other 2 episodes, it makes it out to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if it's just the people he was speaking to, but like, there's like a mum with like 5 children or something, and she's just got a shotgun under her bed.
Yeah.
Like
There's a racial element to it as well, isn't there? It's a very black community.
Yeah.
The community is saying that the police are just targeting black people. The police are saying it's nothing to do with race. It's just they're all armed and it's kicking off all the time. A few weird things with it. We've mentioned in the other episodes that what I felt was almost like an element of acting to it, where some people are playing up for the camera because they've got a BBC crew following them around, and I felt that with this episode as well, with bits of it. There's one main female character who's like a mother, is she?
Yeah.
And her story begins with like, oh, I killed someone when I was 15, but I've turned my life around now, and done this and that. And you think, oh, great, all it took was one murder for you to turn your life around. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a weird attitude to have.
I actually thought, like, because I couldn't get my head around it. I'm like, you killed someone, or 10 years ago or something. Yeah. Why are you not in prison? Go back to prison. you shouldn't be walking the streets after murder. Like, you don't just oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for killing that person.
Yeah.
Oh, go and adopt some kids. Like,
yeah, she got a couple of guns around the house as well, so keep them safe. She was the one I felt was a bit of an actor. It's a bit of a strong word, actor, but she definitely, I think, plays up for the camera.
Acting up, maybe.
Acting up for camera, yeah, exactly. There's one bit where they're all outside, like just eating lunch or something, and you hear like a backfire of a car or something down the street, And she's like, oh, there you go again. Someone firing the guns when all these nice people are sat around eating. And she keeps on banging on about it. Why would you do that when there are people sat here eating the food? It felt like she's really making a point of like, what a terrible neighbourhood this is. Gunfire again. And it sounded like a backfire to me from a car. I didn't see anyone shooting people. Yeah, but she seemed way too quick to jump to the, it's all kicking off again thing.
Yeah.
And then later that night, when they're sat outside drinking vodka and orange juice, a car like screams around the corner, and fair enough, he was driving dangerously. And she's like, "Oh, here we go. They're at it again. There'll be gunshots any minute now. Come on, get inside, get inside."
I think what it was, the camera crew were about to record it, weren't they? And she went, "Don't record them.
Yeah.
Don't record them. Bloody hell!" And then like they quickly turned the camera away from doing it. And she's like, "Oh well, they'll be coming back round soon. They'll be coming back round. Like, come on, let's get inside." She goes inside, pulls the bloody pistol out, doesn't she?
Yeah, it just felt like she jumped to the whole "it's about to kick off" thing very quickly. You know what? Maybe you would do if you lived in that area, kind of thing. But
I reckon you would do in that area.
I suppose so.
In the ghettos.
But it did feel a bit like she's got a camera crew there. Let's make this look as bad as possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously it does kick off there because people, as they were filming it, people were getting shot. in different sections, like shot dead.
Oh, there was literally like showing the bodies as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just like I don't think they actually blurred any of the wounds either, did they?
I don't think so.
It just had people with bloody wounds everywhere.
And like just the fact that blood was pooled everywhere, it was like pretty gruesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I think there was one guy as well he was in the police car, wasn't he, when they were chasing like I think it must have been like a drive-by shooter or something. So they chased him down. This guy crashed into a car, and there's just a dead guy on the floor.
Yeah. It's funny how...
It's funny, that, isn't it, John?
Oh, yeah.
Dead people on the road,
The funny thing about this is... it's funny how, like, the police couldn't get a handle on the situation. I might be being way too unfair here, but they had that guy from the other car, who was just an innocent bystander, like, on the floor in the middle of the street. And they're like, get away from him. And like they were questioning other people as to whether he was a suspect. It's like, this poor guy's just been crashed into. Like, you know, he's like on the verge of death kind of thing. And they're like questioning him like as he's dying in the street. And it turned out it was like another couple once in the car who crashed into him. And the injured guy from the other car crawled out into a garden. And the police caught him. But as they caught him in the garden, they're all doing high fives and stuff, going, yeah, another one, boom, got him.
Yeah.
Like, and all laughing and joking about it. And it's like, there's a guy like dying on the floor there.
No, yeah.
There's no decorum whatsoever about it. It's really weird.
It's like no humanity, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Louis questions the chief inspector at that point and said, I can't remember how he words it now, but it's like, you know, is it a bit of overkill, this kind of thing? Do you know he's even guilty of anything? I'm sure that the police officer's like, I'm not here for theology. I'm here to catch the bad guy. And, you know, just left it at that kind of thing. Yeah, it's just a bit of a...
There's another bit as well when, like, there was a bunch of rappers and he was just talking to them and they're like, oh, yeah, I've got my own personal weapon, you know, just to protect myself. Pulls out like a bloody M15 with a scope.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's like yeah, just to protect myself.
I love the idea of just living in a bad neighbourhood and having a gun so big enough that you need a scope on it. Yeah.
Should we go hunting at night, maybe?
Yeah. All right.
And it's just the way he pointed that out as well. When Louis was like, "Oh, well, where is the gun? Can I see it?" And it's like, "Well, it's over there." Camera pans around this massive like rifle just on the floor. Like, "Oh yeah, there it is." Yeah, that was good though.
So, are we rating Dark States as a total, like a series, as not like good, but not as his most interesting?
Yeah, it's
one of his worst ones for me.
It's not his best, but like I think the Heroin one like was the highlight of that series. Yeah. I thought that was a really good episode, but the other two fell a bit short, I think.
Yeah, and there's one bit in this one where there's a vigil being held. And they've got this soft music playing underneath the vigil. And I'm thinking, am I watching the X Factor now? Louis never normally does stuff like that in his documentaries.
That bit was mad. With all the people going, he's in heaven now.
Yeah. I know you can hear me, brother.
Yeah, that's the over-the-top American thing. Though.
Yeah, it was very over the top. But
yeah, for me, one of his worst ones. It's still good and watchable, but I feel like he's done a lot of better stuff than this.
Yeah, I want him to go on the trail of like a serial killer one day as a show. Pick a serial killer that has never been found, and he just goes and tries to sort it out.
Just go and catch him.
Yeah, go and investigate it. Yeah,
yep.
I'd like that.
Pitch that for his next series.
yeah, I'll get on the phone. I'll edit that. Right, I've watched a couple of episodes of Lost this week. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm going to drop a plug in the middle of this week's show. I'm looking at doing a show with someone else who's not on this show.
What the fuck?
Cheating on us.
I'm not leaving. I'm doing a pilot.
You're just broadening your options.
Yeah, basically. When this one fails, just jump on the other one. So we're gonna be recording a pilot episode. We've got a few ideas, but one of the shows we're trialing is a Lost show. So if that's worth putting up, it's going to be on this RSS feed. So if you subscribe to Don't Spoil the Ending, you'll get the pilot episode of Not Penny's Boat, is what we're calling it at the moment, which is the name
again?
of Not Penny's Boat.
Okay.
Yeah. We wanted to call it We Have to Go Back.
But that's been done at least 4 times.
So that's been done. So yeah, we're going to do a show about Lost and watch it a few episodes at a time. We'll release an episode every couple of weeks. We'll just talk about Lost because it's quite the show. I only ever watched it once, all the way through, like as it came out. But I rewatched the first 2 episodes recently, and that first episode's amazing.
Yeah,
It's honestly really good.
I really got into it at the time. I was a bit disappointed at the end, but I'm dying to go back and watch that again at some point.
You have to go back.
Yeah.
See, great name for a show.
Yeah, perfect.
But yeah, I like going back. It's if I look back at the way I felt after it finished, I just felt sour about the whole show, but not like if I go into it knowing that.
Yeah, it might paint it differently for
Yeah,
you.
I'll go in with a different frame of mind. Apparently you pick up loads of different stuff on a second rewatch.
Yeah.
On a second watch. But yeah, so I've watched a bit of Lost. I've been busy editing podcasts and stuff all week, so I've not really got much else to cover this week.
Yeah, I'm done TV show wise. Have you guys
Got Ozark.
Oh, Ozark. Sorry, yeah, I forgot about that.
This has been building for almost a couple of months now, hasn't it? Like you two both separately spoke about it, but not been able to speak about it together.
Yeah, Ozark. I loved the show as a whole.
Yeah,
Thought it was really good.
same.
I mentioned earlier I had a couple of issues with it on the whole regarding like the finale and stuff like that. I don't know how spoilerific you want to get into it, but
Spoiler alert. There we go.
The character of Del I really like.
Yeah.
Who's like the Mexican cartel leader, who's making Jason Bateman do everything that he does.
I've watched the first episode, so is that the guy that? I mean, are we doing spoilers?
Well, I mean, you can mention that, like the guy who kind of is the enforcer in episode 1.
Yeah.
Him, I really like that character. And you were saying the same in them. And things that happened with him in the final episode, I wasn't totally on board with, wasn't totally happy with. But I mean, some of it's such a hard hitting, like gruesome show. Some of the torture scenes in it are like, oh my god, like yeah, for a TV show.
It's there was one bit, and we've mentioned it, but without giving anything away, like it was eye watering to watch. It was just sort of like so. I think it's someone's being tortured, and it wasn't like anything I've seen on TV. Well, I don't know the way it was done.
I say for TV, it's very graphic.
Yeah, it didn't like shy away from showing you what was going on.
Yeah, they literally show you in detail, kind of thing. That was quite good. The only thing, like, it was quite good. It tricked me at one point into thinking it might be a one series thing and done. Because that final episode, I was like, oh my god, like, this is ending now. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be no series 2. But there is going to be a series 2.
I was thinking, like, yeah, you can go into series 2, and I was really happy with the way it was.
Yeah.
And then it does a big twist at the end of it, and you're like, whoa, like, because it comes out of the blue from absolutely nowhere. It's just it's such a shock, and I think that's why it's so sort of it's almost hard to understand. Sort of like it's so out of the blue. It's like, whoa, why has that just happened? And sort of like, because you almost don't want that to happen. Like, so
and like,
it already set up good for season 2.
That's it. Like, where the plot's gone now from that, it feels like a lot of the jeopardy is gone from it for me now. You know what I mean? Like, if it happened differently, there'd have been much more of a kind of ticking clock for Series 2. You have to do this by this point, otherwise, this will happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's made that feel a bit less important now.
Yeah, Jason Bateman's a highlight for it, and the way it's put together and produced and everything like that. Loved it.
Yeah, sympathy for her.
The times where I really hate her, and then times where she backs
Yeah.
his husband up, and then it's like, oh, you're actually all right, you.
Yeah. I like the bit as well, the flashback episode you've mentioned previously. The whole thing of, this is not a spoiler, but there's something involving a jar of 2 eyeballs.
Yeah.
And then you see the flashback episode and like, oh my God, that is awful.
So someone gets their eyes pulled out.
Yeah, but you've got no idea who kind of thing, so
it's someone relevant.
well, could be. But again, it's all done in flashback, so it's like, it's really well handled. And just how he gets into the game of, money laundering, that I thought that was all quite well handled and well done. But yeah, on the whole, I loved it. One of the best shows I've watched this year, definitely.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Cool. Are we done with TV for the week?
I've got a couple of things. Netflix based, really, not really done much on Amazon, to be honest. There is an Amazon show that I did want to mention, which I'm going to watch, which is Law, which
I think I mentioned it the other week, actually.
yeah, it's a podcast which is being almost like reenacted, hasn't it? Sort of like put together
pretty much
to tell the visual story of what happens in the Law podcast.
Have you listened to the podcast?
Yeah, I've listened to quite a few of the episodes, but I think it's
good. The podcast.
Yeah, I really liked it. It's really well put together and sort of.
You'll probably like this. It's interesting the way it is dead interesting. This series. I enjoyed it for what it was like.
It ties in with like Halloween, doesn't it? That's why it's been released now. But yeah,
actually makes sense.
Stranger Things. Been watching season 1 in time for season 2, which has been released in the past few days.
Today.
Today. So been watching season 1 of that. Halfway through that, really enjoying watching that again, and can't wait for season 2.
Well, Inman, we're discussing a Stranger Things podcast maybe at some point.
Okay.
If you watch series 2, yeah,
definitely get on board.
Yeah,
with that.
Joe, if you'd be up for that, maybe.
I can barely commit to 1, and I'm already committed to 2. So yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
I'll come on for the finale again.
Well, do we want to talk about how we were planning on doing it on the podcast?
It'd be a bit of a different format, I imagine.
This conversation off the pod, or just live on the pod.
That's what I was going to say. Do we want to leave that for off the pod?
Yeah, it can do. Yeah,
let's do the admin off the show.
Yep.
Stranger Things series 1, though. My thoughts on it. I don't think we've not covered Stranger Things much, have we? Because we started the show after the first season. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I felt like it could have been better. It's nowhere near like a perfect TV show, but there was a lot I would have probably done differently.
Yeah,
but I did enjoy it at the time. I've not really got the urge though to go and watch season 2. Like, I don't know why. I'm just not particularly fussed.
The early reviews I've seen on Empire and stuff, they say it's just more of the same, but it's good apparently.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
No, yeah, I've seen it getting good reviews, so I will watch it. I'm just not
desperate.
Not fussed.
Yeah,
not fussed.
More of the same can be a good thing, because often season 2s will just dive bomb.
Change things completely. And
True Detective.
Yeah,
Bloodlines. Shocking.
Oh, I never watched that. That's another Netflix.
Just watch season 1.
Really?
There you go. Yeah.
That has.
I think I spoke about this on the podcast before. Watch season 1 and then turn off 10 seconds before the end of season 1, because there's a finish there.
Right, okay.
And then they just throw 10 seconds in at the end, which means they can go, oh, we can have a season 2 now.
It's got one of my favourite actors in that, Ben Mendelsohn, the Australian guy.
I think.
Who's been in like Star Wars recently and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind checking that out. And Kyle Chandler as well, he's in that.
Yeah, I love him in that.
Yeah, Coach Taylor.
Yeah, he's good.
Yep.
Anyone got any thoughts on Stranger Things before we move to Tom's next show? No. Much dead at
The other thing is, it's a very different TV show. It's Penn and Teller Fool Us, if anyone's heard of this.
I love Penn and Teller. Yep.
I love Penn and Teller. I really want to go to Vegas and watch them. Came over to England and had shows here, and it sold out like instantly. I just couldn't get tickets for it. But the show's really good. I think they're in season 4 in America, but season 1 and 2 are definitely on Netflix UK. Jonathan Ross is the host, and he's like really funny for it.
Oh, right.
Because he has quite a lot of banter with Penn and Teller and sort of like the the host and stuff. He's just generally a good host. Like they have top magicians on there and stuff like that. It's a really good show to watch.
Yeah,
it's dead easy watching and stuff like that.
I remember watching it a few years ago, like, and some of the stuff on it is amazing.
Yeah,
like, some of the magic tricks that they can do. Like, I like all the sleight of hand stuff a lot of the time.
I love that. Yeah.
It's just the skill involved in doing that. It's pretty amazing.
And like on top of that, they're both just really like smart, funny guys as well, and like and charismatic and stuff. And it's not often you'll get that kind of mix, you know, in a person like Yep.
No, I'm nearly at the end of season 2 of that, so I'm looking forward to season 3. But I know that they changed the host, and Penn cuts his ponytail off, so I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
So.
Just a quick aside on that. I watched the US Celebrity Apprentice, and about 3 or 4 years ago, Penn was on that, and he was amazing on it. Like, he was just smashing it every week and stuff, and everyone hated him because he was so smart and good on it, kind of thing. Like, yeah, that was good.
Cool. Is that TV covered?
Can I just briefly mention something, because I don't want to go too into depth because I know you want to watch it. But you brought up last week Mindhunter.
I was going to say, you're going to say Mindhunter.
Because I smashed it.
Have you watched it all?
I watched it all since then, and I love it.
So you recommend it?
I recommend that.
I've wanted to watch this.
It is amazing. To be honest, I don't even think there's much I can spoil because. No, I mean I can definitely spoil something, but I'm just not going to. But it's amazing. It's obviously. I think that's you'd already know that it's basically just a team that basically go and talk into serial killers and stuff. But after they're doing like things on the side and that, but it's so good. It is so good. Like you get to like get used to these characters and see their kind of evolution.
How many episodes are there?
10 episodes.
10 episodes.
Which weirdly enough, it fluctuates in how long they are. So like some are like an hour, some are like half an hour. It's so weird. But
is it a Netflix original?
Yeah.
I think Making a Murderer did that. Like that's varied between episode length and stuff like that. So.
But it's like that. You meet like I can't remember if there's 3, but there's definitely 2. No, sorry, there is 3 serial killers that you meet who are like obviously based on real. Well, sorry, they are actors portraying real serial killers, and like the actors. There's this one serial killer, and I don't think this is a spoiler because it is just a real serial killer. But this serial killer, he's done like these horrendous things, and I'll let you watch it so you can find out what these things are. But he's like the most polite person you'll ever like meet. Honestly, he's talking to him and he's just so polite, and he seems like a really nice person to speak to. So it's just weird, like hearing him say, "Oh, like being dead polite, going, hi, would you like me to get you a sandwich? I can get you an egg sandwich if you want," and then going on to be like, "Oh, and I did this," and it's just like, wow.
Is it psychopath or sociopath? Where they just think what they're doing is normal, so they come across as just a proper normal person.
I feel like
is that sociopath?
I feel like
Sociopath is just totally unfeeling, like they can do something.
Well, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
I think that might be psychopath, maybe the other one, where it's like an ego thing there.
I do think they are like investigating basically psychopathy, because at this time in the police force, I don't think they had any kind of basically criminals were criminals. There wasn't a such thing as a psychopath or anything.
Right, okay.
So they weren't able to pick up on it before it happened, which I think they've kind of got a system in place now where they can see signs of people turning into basically, oh God, this kid's killing animals. He's probably going to become a psychopath on his own. That kind of thing.
I want to watch it.
Yeah, definitely watch it. It's worth a watch.
Cool. Should we move on to games?
Cool.
Sims 4 is getting released this month on the PS4.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
That's this soon.
Yep, I'm very happy about that.
I mean, I've never played any of them, but I'll have it a week early on EA Access on the Xbox One. So as soon as it's out, I'll have a 10-hour trial there to play. So
yeah, I love The Sims, me. Like,
I've not played it since Sims 3.
See, yeah, same here, but that's because I've played the console versions, but I've got up to Sims 3 on PC as well, but never got Sims 4.
See, I didn't even realise it was released, to be honest.
Yeah, it was it was quite a release than the rest of them. I don't know if it's because the Sims Train sort of doesn't run as fast as it used to, but yeah, Sims 4 PS4. I'll be definitely buying that one.
I think I will, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll laugh.
Got a Super Mario Odyssey out today.
Oh, true.
Switch.
Yeah,
Yep.
that looks really fun. That game.
It's getting like just perfect scores across the board.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
it looks like another one of them perfect Mario games because there have been a couple, but this one really is looking like it's up there.
Amazing. That should be there for me at home when I get back. So
Switch.
Get on that Switch. Yeah.
So the Switch has had a couple. Like, I know Nintendo usually do this when they bring out a console, but they get a top class Zelda game on it, and a top class Mario game on it. That's it for the Switch now.
Well, I think there's been 4 games this year. There's like Mario Kart, which is a Wii U game basically, but still amazing.
Yeah.
Splatoon 2, which was amazing. Mario and Zelda, they're the big 4 this year. Other than that,
The thing is that the Switch is like a perfect like console for indie developers, I think, because it's got the if you go and look at the indie games that are on like the PlayStation or they're on Steam or whatever, like a lot of them are these less system use less system resource. Yeah. The Switch is a perfect game for a lot of these independent.
I know what you mean. You don't have to play like one of these 8-bit shooters on a PS4, do you? It's
no,
like overkill almost kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know why there's not more of it coming to the Switch because it's I don't know if it's Nintendo.
To be fair though, there is a shed load of stuff on the store you can buy stuff like that. I've not looked at it, you know what I mean? But there is quite a lot of stuff on there you can buy.
Probably worth a good look on there. Yeah, it's because a lot of the games I've played that I've like thoroughly enjoyed recently have been games that could run on a Switch.
Yeah,
like stuff like Stardew Valley.
Oh, that's number 1 in the charts.
Is that actually on Switch?
Switch? Yeah, I looked at the top 10 chart last night, and that was number 1, ahead of like Mario. I think it was. Like, that's ahead of Mario in the charts.
It's better than Mario. It's better than every Mario game. Yeah. Well, that was an example of like a good game that could run on the Switch, and obviously, it looks like it is doing well on there. So, yeah, I think there could be more that comes to Switch.
More stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good. Any more games?
I mean, I can just quickly mention I've like replayed Batman, the Telltale game this week.
We covered Telltale last week, didn't we? And I remember you recommending the Batman.
Yeah, and it is great. It's like a different version of Batman, but you guys like Telltale, don't you?
Yeah.
The Telltale games, so it's definitely worth trying out. Because it's Batman, you'd think you have certain expectations of what's going to happen, but it's just totally different. It's like an origin story almost again. Like the Joker's in it, but not as you'd imagine him, that stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Probably the best Telltale game I've played, I think, that one.
Oh,
yep.
And we all like Telltale.
Yeah. Those kind of games that I always put off playing because I think, when I get a bit of spare time, I'll just go through that. But then when I play them, I'm like, why have I not played this sooner?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's the same. I'm still in Game of Thrones, and that is just how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I sit there thinking I've had that sat there for ages, and not once have I actually booted it up and tried it. And I'm onto the final chapter now, and I'm loved it. It's really good.
Yeah.
So.
Telltale seem to have something pretty good going on because they got all these different franchises, which aren't connected in any way, and then they just make the game for it, and then get all the fans from that franchise base to buy the game that they're part of. It's like
they
must be doing pretty well.
You think about the franchises they've got, and they do span everything.
They've got what? Jurassic Park, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Batman, Minecraft. You've got
Borderlands. It's like it's all these really
Borderlands,
weird.
But yeah, Borderlands. That's the weirdest one, I think. Borderlands.
There's a Telltale Borderlands game.
Yeah,
it's just mad.
And Borderlands as a game itself doesn't lend in any way to a Telltale series. Like
no, I've played the first Borderlands, and I have my issues with it, but I like the game.
But it is just a level up shooter, isn't it? Pretty much.
But then they did a Telltale game on it. It's like
I think Minecraft's quite a weird one.
Yeah.
Well, that's a game without really a purpose, and they've just gone and made a story for it.
Yeah, I was never sold on the Minecraft one. Every time I look at it, I think it looks like I know the narrow-minded thing to say is Minecraft looks like it's for kids because I've put tons of hours into Minecraft. I love it, but that story mode looks like it's for kids.
I've not tried it. I don't know what it's like, to be honest.
So.
Yeah, I've not even looked into it, to be honest, so I don't know.
And I don't like we were saying, a story mode on Minecraft I could deal with a one-off story mode, but the fact that it just isn't Minecraft,
I mean,
like that's not the point of the thing.
I've not even tried. I've not even seen a video of this being played, but it's up, like they've got a season 2 out now, haven't they? So it's definitely doing well.
Yeah. And just on that as well, Walking Dead Series 3 has been out for a while, but it's on offer now for £11 on the PS4
okay.
in the Halloween sale. So I'm going to pick that before Halloween. And I've never played Series 2. I've got Series 1, 2, and I've got the Michonne spin-off, and I've never played that yet either. And then they've done a Series 3 now, so I'm going to buy that, play through the whole lot.
I played through season 1 and 2, and I enjoyed both of them.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I've preferred 1 or 2, but yeah, they were both good.
Both good. Yep.
Yeah. Are we getting more games coming up? Or?
I've got Football Manager,
Oh
which
yes.
I can download from today because I pre-ordered it. So it's out in 2 weeks, but I can get on the beta. So I'd actually forgot about that today until you mentioned games. So I was got on that when I got home, and also Firewatch, which we've mentioned a few times before, is 50% on Steam. So I got that this week.
Good.
So I'm gonna download that and get on that at some point.
Good. I'm glad. The Hitman is getting a Game of the Year edition that's coming out. So if you've not bought Hitman up to now, it's basically just the full thing for season 1. They did release it all on a disc earlier in the year, but this has got like extra stuff on it.
Yeah.
And if you've not played the Hitman game, that's definitely worth picking up. On the Hitman game, it's an always online game. Now, they had these things throughout when it was, at its most popular, where they'd have these one-off opportunities, and they would be different things, like you have to do this or you have to do this, like on the different maps, and you basically get one shot at it, and then once you'd done that shot, it was done. You can never attempt it again.
Right.
Which I quite liked.
I like that.
I can't remember what they were called, but that's what that was, and they're recently redoing it for people who might have missed them the first time. So if you jump on it now, you should get these opportunities to do these one-off things. But if you had the game months ago and you attempted something, you're not allowed to retry that.
Right.
So it's running people back through, because you get time limits to say this one's available for the next 12 hours, and you get the one shot. But yeah, I think it's good that they're re-rolling it around, because that game's still getting constant support, and they haven't really released much for it in a long time. Like, it's post-release support, and they've done a lot for that. I think season 2 will be coming probably next year, but this is basically that company. IO Interactive are trying to treat Hitman as its main franchise, because it owns the Hitman franchise. They recently split from Square Enix, and I don't know the business inner workings of it, but it was almost like they bought themselves, and they're like an independent company now who are releasing Hitman, and so they're hoping Hitman, they're going to try and basically get as much money out of it as they can to fund anything Hitman related in the future, like a season 2. So if you're a fan of Hitman, you need to get on season 1, otherwise there won't be a season 2.
And I do like the fact it's like chapter based, a bit like the Telltale format, but the Hitman game within that. I think a lot more games will probably go that way in the future.
It wouldn't surprise me, because it seems to be working for the Hitman franchise. That's more or less resurrected that, because it died off a bit. It wasn't the series it was like it used to be.
And like, you'll pick up a game nowadays like Tomb Raider or something, and there's 20 hours of gameplay in there. And for me, I just think, when am I ever going to play this?
No,
getting a couple of hours every month or two might be a better idea, to be honest. I'll play those 2 hours when I get it, and then look forward to the next 2. I don't always want 20 hours of gameplay in one go.
I find as well though, like, one of the benefits for Hitman is, it sounds mad saying, oh yeah, there's only, I can't remember how many levels, but there's maybe 8 maps, something like that. So the example would be the Paris one for the first one, which is a fashion show. And you can go and do the normal game, like level, there's like 2 targets, take them out, you're done. But people have like created contracts that are like user created ones and doing all this, and you have to, there are some where you've got to do specific things. So you've got to go find like the clown costume and go and stab some, like, Cluedo. So you've got to kill them with this, dressed as this, all that. So whilst some part of me thinks this is almost like they're just recycling the maps and just generating random stuff to work and do stuff on that map, the fact that that map helps, because you don't have to go relearn something, but you can get different fun out of it, because they're pretty big maps as well. And I quite like the idea of learning a map and doing lots of different things in it, because there's one where it's basically got the enemies from Home Alone in it, and you end up like taking them out.
Oh,
So
I
like,
can't think now what they're
so
called.
there's like a couple of guys, and like they're like burglars.
The Wet Bandits.
Yeah, it's like one of the special contractors to get like to basically kill those two.
Yeah.
And it's obviously like heavily influenced on that. But there's another one where there's like an evil magician costume in the attic, but it's dead hard to go and find. Like, or at least I've never done it, but you can go do that, and the aim of it is to kill a target wearing that, even though you just look daft. Yeah, going back to the Home Alone one though, there's that one takes place at Christmas, so the map's slightly different, where it's got little like Christmas presents and stuff lying around. It's just a nice reuse of a lot of the assets in that game. So cool. I do recommend that.
I do like the idea of it. Just one last thing on gaming, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Another game on sale is Dead Rising 1, 2, and like a special third game called Off the Record, I think it was called.
Dead Tide. Sorry.
Oh, Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Sorry.
They're old games, but they keep on like reissuing them and stuff like that. They're £15 for all three, and I played the first one on the Xbox 360 like 10 years ago. Have you ever played them at all, you guys? Or
I never
played a bit of it.
Played a bit of it. Like the first one is the appeal is you're just in a shopping mall full of zombies. Yeah. But the game, you've only got like 8 hours real time to play it before like a helicopter's coming to pick you up. But there's like 15 hours of stuff you can do within it, so you've got to choose what you want to do before you get picked up by the helicopter. It just sounds a bit like Hitman, like you literally can't do everything in that map the first time you play it. The point is you've got to pick and choose what you want to do and play it multiple times to see everything within the game. But yeah, I'm thinking of picking it up, £15 for all three games. So
it's quite a good price for a game series that did well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I might give that a go before Halloween. Yep.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Mention a game. Well, I've not been playing it. I've been introduced into a game. I've been showing it on YouTube, and I don't play on PC very often these days, so I probably won't be able to. But it's a game called The Beginner's Guide. It's it's made by Davey Raiden, who's the guy who made the Stanley Parable, the Half-Life mod, and it's a weird game. He presented it as basically a bunch of little levels that his friend made, just like in his spare time, and like he does the voiceover himself, and it's just like, so that this is the first level, as you can see, it's just a Counter-Strike multiplayer map that is made, and you can see he's got some floating boxes over here, and then you're just kind of going through it, and then the next one, it's like a little maze. It's completely different to the first level. It's just a little maze which you have to go through in reverse in order to get through. And it's just really interesting the way he's made it. Like seems to be like a proper clever guy, this Davey Raiden or whatever his name is. Like, have you ever played the Stanley Parable?
I've not, but I'm aware of it and I've seen it.
I played it a little bit and it just baffled with my head. It just messed with my head, that game. And this one seems to do very much the same thing. Like where certain levels, like you basically, in order to complete the level, you just glitch, and like he's presented it in such a way that like his friend has made it, and like this is just kind of the way the level ends, but he's obviously made it to do that, and yeah, like it's whether you've got a PC, like you play PC games, don't you, Sam?
Yeah, the Stanley Parable was one that I used to play, but my computer got so old, like even Stanley Parable wouldn't run on it, and even Telltale games. But got a new Mac, so I'd need to go back and revisit all the.
I'd recommend this. The Beginner's Guide. It's called. It's like I want to get on my PC and try it again because it looks so interesting. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that. Quick mention.
Cool. Right, should we move on to films?
Cool.
What else have we watched? Well, what have we watched this week?
The main one I've watched really is The Snowman, the new Michael Fassbender film.
All right.
Have you guys heard of that?
I
know Nick has, yeah.
Watched the trailer. I mean, from what I can gather, it was a guy that put deadheads on snowmen or something like that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right, what's the premise of The Snowman? I'm suddenly interested.
Yeah, based on a book by Joe Nesbo, who's like a Scandinavian crime fiction writer. And it's basically the Snowman serial killer.
Right.
It's meant to be a proper serious film, but we were watching the trailer months ago thinking, what the fuck is this? So he literally will take the head off a body, put a snowman's head on the body, That's his calling card. Or vice versa.
Right.
Snowman body, head on snowman.
Right.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender starring. So you'd think, you know, it could be a good film. It's by the director of Let the Right One In, which was great. Set in Scandinavia. I think it's Denmark, maybe. But it's just an absolute mess. Charlotte Gainsbourg's in it, who's in the main film we're talking about. She's quite good in it, to be fair. But it's as you can imagine a Seven, but really crap, and with a snowman serial killer. It's really bad. It's like brain-numbingly stupid, some of the stuff that happens in it. And it's one of them films you can tell there's been like reshoots for it, you know, where stuff just doesn't add up. Like they forgot about certain subplots because they've done reshoots. There's a whole subplot involving J.K. Simmons. There's like this corrupt...
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, you won't after this.
Right.
This is one of his worst performances, but there's this corrupt politician who's like bribing people to get like the Winter Games to come to Oslo. And they just drop it. Nothing happens to him. They just forget all about it halfway through the film. It's the weirdest thing like ever. I can only imagine it's a reshoot that just didn't line up with what they originally did. So they just dropped the whole subplot. The killer is glaringly obvious from the first time you meet them, kind of thing in the film. It's one of them films that's actually so bad it's kind of entertaining. Just it's not a boring watch. You kind of have fun just laughing at it, but Fassbender's not great in it. So yeah, it's pretty rubbish. I'd give it like 1.5 out of 5. Feel bad for Fassbender because he tried. It's meant to be a franchise. The detective's called Harry Hole. It's meant to be like the Harry Hole series of like films. I can't imagine they'll do a second one.
About the snowman or
the other ones will be different serial killers. Yeah, they'll find another gimmick for the other ones.
There's another snowman gimmick serial killer down there. Like,
oh, not again. Yeah, but it was pretty crap. I feel bad for him though because he's trying to get like a franchise off the ground, and he did this with this and Assassin's Creed, and they're both like meh. It's not great. So yeah, not been a great year for Michael Fassbender.
No. I don't go to the cinema very often, but there's one that I kind of went. I might actually go to the cinema and watch that, but never mind.
Yeah, wait for DVD. Yep.
cool.
I just want to mention I watched The Hills of Eyes, the remake.
Yep.
This week, third week of Halloween, in it, or is it fourth week of Halloween?
Shocktober.
Of Shocktober. So I thought I'd watch The Hills of Eyes this week. I rated it 4.5 because I absolutely loved this film. I thought it was amazing. It's a bit dated now, but it's still amazing. Like,
yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's really grotesque, isn't it? Some of it.
yeah.
I don't remember liking it enough to give it a 4.5. I think I thought it was average, but I've not watched it in so long that might have changed for the better or worse.
I mean, I don't know. I just loved it. I just absolutely loved the film. Yeah, I think I rated it so high because obviously I've been doing these hot films every week, which was the Babadook,
The
Thing, and I just rated it higher than all of them, and that was the only one I could possibly go without giving it a 5-star.
Right.
Yeah, I quite like it. It's directed by Alexandre Aja, who at one point was like one of the best new horror directors, but he's kind of fell apart recently. He did this and like Piranha 3D, and I really like Piranha 3D. But then he did like Horns, that Daniel Radcliffe film, which a bit of a mess.
Was that horror or
Horns? Yeah. More like it's like Twilight more than anything, with a bit of horror thrown in there, like young adult. Like
young adult. Yeah.
So he's kind of like.
But why you didn't like it, John?
Yeah, probably. Yep. Oh, sorry, I just took over your conversation.
No, I didn't have much more to say, to be honest.
Yeah, but I quite like it.
I think everyone else in the world's probably seen the film at this point, so I don't really need to go into any detail about it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It wasn't as like creepy as I expected. It's always a film I thought was just going to be horrific or terrifying, but it was actually somewhat of an easy watch, to be honest.
Pleasant viewing.
Yeah. Just a few casual murders here and there.
Cool.
I'll just throw one last film in, the new Fast and Furious, Fate of the Furious, Part 8, whatever you want to call it.
I'd love to do a full show 1 week on Fast
we should
and
definitely
Furious.
do a premium Fast and Furious premium show.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, defo. I won't go into detail with this one, but not as good as the ones that have come before, the recent films. It's one of them films that it cost an absolute fortune to make, but it looks cheap. You know, like you can tell the
Really?
talent behind the camera isn't as good as Justin Lin, whoever did the last one, whoever it was. But yeah, it cost a fortune, but it just looks like some of the action looks cheap. It's perfectly fine. You know what to expect. It's Fast and Furious, but
It's just the same as the last 3 films.
not as good as the last few. But
Yeah.
it's still watchable action film.
I didn't even know a new one was out.
Yeah,
I
part
don't.
8.
Sorry. I was going to say I don't think they've hammered the marketing as much this time as they have done in the past.
I don't know. Like Dwayne Johnson's quite big on social media. He didn't shut up about it for months. Like,
There's a bit of bad blood there now. You know, they've just announced they're doing a spin-off film for The Rock and Vin Diesel and what's the
is it
Rock-
Tyrese?
Tyrese Gibson. They've both been tweeting saying like, you know, who does he think he is, kind of thing. Getting his own franchise, his own spin-off franchise before our next film's coming out and stuff like this.
Probably because he's more popular than them. So
He's outgrown the franchise, yeah.
so they're
I feel like
breaking it in.
I feel like without him, that would have been dead in the water. That series.
He's one of the best things of this new film, I think, as well.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
Wasn't he the highest paid actor last year?
was he?
Yeah, like the highest paid.
Yeah,
which
makes
means
sense.
you're grossing the most money. So yeah, I'm not surprised he'd get a spin off.
Yeah.
But part of me thinks some of that is just marketing. Them having a bad blood. It's like, oh yeah, we're having bad blood right round when the films are.
Oh no! So this is like
films-
literally this week. They've just announced the next film in the series will be a Rock spin-off film.
I know, but this is what I mean. Though, like they might be saying, oh yeah, there's bad blood coming. Like, oh, we got like. But then at the end of the day, Fast and Furious 8 just came out. It's
Yeah.
in cinemas now. Like,
Oh, it's been
See,
out for
that's
a
the thing. It's been
while.
out for a while, so it feels a bit like it's not to do
Alright.
with that.
is
It's
it
more,
still in cinema?
and
The-
the
the-
one thing with it is as well that I feel makes it more genuine. They were tweeting pictures of Tyrese, Vin Diesel, and Paul Walker together. They were saying like these are the original crew. And if it is just marketing, it's a bit cynical and to use Paul Walker kind of thing.
All right.
So,
Wait,
do
you
know what
bring
I
that
mean?
in. I'm thinking, oh,
Yeah, stuff like that they've been doing, like, and the Rock's just like, I'm just doing a film. leave me alone.
I know. That puts a different spin on it. That
Yeah,
when
so
you
it
say
does
that.
seem like a genuine bit of bad blood. Like,
But like, didn't Tyrese like miss about 4 films? I'm sure he missed a
Vin
bunch.
Diesel did.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we were the original crew, but like, yeah,
Yeah, he came back to part 4,
There
didn't he,
was
Vin
a lot
Diesel?
of bad blood for
he was in part.
this last part 8. No, wasn't there? Literally between Vin Diesel and The Rock, there was
Yeah.
like all over social media. There was having goals at each other and stuff. So
That's at the time I thought it was all just like marketing, but maybe looking back, maybe it is just
I
they don't
think,
like
I
each
think
other.
there genuinely is like a bit of bad blood
Yeah.
between at least Vin Diesel and The Rock. Anyway,
Yeah,
I think it's building up to a WrestleMania match. I think that's what it's going to be.
Kurt Angle and The Rock versus.
Did you see Kurt Angle's wrestling
Yeah, I was
match
going to mention it before and I forgot to mention it.
recently?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's back.
Do you know they got rid of him in like 2006, 2007 because they're basically the idea behind it was we don't want an Olympic gold medalist breaking his neck and dying on live TV because he was getting more and more injury prone and he,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not
Using
gonna,
more and more drugs.
He had well, I didn't want to go there, but
Oh.
yeah, like he was just becoming more of a mess. And then randomly, 11 years later, even though he had a bunch of like DUI arrests in the US over the last sort of few years, I think he's cleaned himself up a bit now. But he's still got like a neck, like a stack of dimes, as they would say about Edge in the past.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, Kurt Angle. Like wrestling with the Shield
Yeah,
in
so
full
does.
Shield gear, and he looks dead funny because he looks like one of the dads. like, I might, my mate couldn't come, like Roman Reigns. So, do you mind, like, Dad? Do you mind filling in? That's what it looked like. So,
Who's the guy from The Shield who's like the new Shawn Michaels almost?
Seth Rollins.
So yeah, that's how I think of him, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
he's back in The Shield again, isn't he now?
I've not been
Oh, sorry. Well,
as up to date on it recently.
I've seen pictures of like him.
Yeah, they've
Roman Reigns,
reformed the Shield.
Kurt Angle. I'm just thinking that's a bit of a step back for him, really. Like he was like going off and just doing his own thing, and they've reformed the team and put Kurt Angle in there. He must be thinking, hold on a minute,
Yeah, I think Kurt Angle's a temporary.
temporary
But
addition.
this is the fickle nature of the WWE fans, right? And it's demonstrated by the Shield, right? So Roman Reigns has been getting booed for ages, and he uses the old Shield music. But now the Shield music is being used for the Shield again. Even though Roman Reigns is in it, they're now cheering the music. So it's almost like booing Roman Reigns is part of a gimmick. Like, so the fans, like, they're just people will never stop. People's voices will never be heard on that because nobody actually cares.
Yeah.
Like it's we're gonna boo Roman Reigns because it's Roman Reigns, and then it's like it's the same music for the Shield and it's got Roman Reigns in it, so I'm gonna cheer now.
It kind of feels like Vince McMahon will never take them seriously because he just thinks they're all trolls, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like the fans are trolls almost.
Yeah, so it's never gonna change.
Yeah.
So that's my tangent for the week on wrestling out the way. Yeah, we got anything else we want to cover before we move on?
I'm all done.
Did you finish with Fast and Furious?
Yeah. That was
All right. Well, should we move straight on to Antichrist?
yeah, sounds good.
Not the Antichrist. Antichrist.
Correct.
Yeah.
got-
While a married couple is having sex, their infant son in a nearby room falls out a window to his death. She becomes distraught and is hospitalized, but her husband, who is a psychiatrist, attempts to treat her. Deciding that she needs to face her fears, he takes her to a cabin in the woods where she spent a previous summer with the boy. Once they are there, she becomes more unhinged and starts perpetrating sexual violence on her husband and herself. So,
Okay.
yeah, this is a film directed by Lars von
Trier. Yup.
Yeah, the man and the woman in this film aren't actually ever referred to by name. They're only referred to as he or her.
He or she.
But it's Willem Dafoe and Charlotte Gainsbourg. And we all know Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Charlotte Gainsbourg, though, I recognised her from The Science of Sleep because she's in that, and I enjoy that film. And also, I've not seen. Is it called Nymphomaniac?
Nymphomaniac.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but I know she's in that, which
yeah.
is another film
Well,
in this.
I was going to say, like, this film's like the first film in a trilogy, the Depression trilogy by Lars von Trier.
That's an unofficial trilogy name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if he coined it or if the fans coined it.
I think it's like a fan thing, maybe.
But this is the first one, and is it Melancholia?
Melancholia, like 2 years later,
And then
Nymphomaniac 2 years after that. Yeah.
Wasn't there a second Nymphomaniac though?
Yeah, 2 volumes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same film. It's just 2 volumes.
Yeah, but like Kill Bill, like the way they split it up.
Yeah.
Yup.
Has anybody seen Nymphomaniac before we talk about?
Yeah, I've seen Nymphomaniac.
Was that any good?
I mean, yeah. Similar to this film. I mean, I've got notes. It's really similar to this film. Okay. Some of it. That mentioned Charlotte Gainsbourg is the Nymphomaniac in that film kind of thing. But yeah, that's great as well.
All right. Well, should we let's talk Antichrist then?
Yep.
Do you want to start with your notes, or should we just start with the opening?
Should we just go through the film, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, let's go through the
sounds
film.
good.
Yeah.
I'd love to start with that opening scene.
Yeah.
I think it's the best scene in the film.
It's harrowing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know you're in for a bit of a weird ride when the title cards are just like coloured chalk.
Yeah.
Scroll. That's amazing. Just Antichrist with like yellow and white chalk and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so basically the couple are like having sex and they don't notice the kid. Although you see a flashback later in the film where she does spot him.
See,
is that like
I don't know whether that's what actually happened or whether that's just her weird
vision of it.
Because there's constant reference throughout the film. Willem Dafoe saying that fear is, I can't think of the quote now. He mentions how basically you change things in your mind the longer the events go on. You remember it in a completely different way to how they actually happened.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that was what was going on there.
Do you know that could definitely be that.
Yeah.
But so basically, the couple are having sex and the kid basically pushes a chair to a table and falls out the window to his death in the snow outside, and you literally see him hit the floor.
I was going to say, like most films, they kind of imply this kind of thing, but this film, it literally showing him fall and hit and splat.
Yeah, in the snow.
Yeah. It's quite hard to watch, almost. But
and the weird thing is that the whole scene shot in black and white, and it's got like very orchestral, soft music underneath it all.
There's no sound effects either.
So just all music into it.
Yeah, I thought it was a really well shot, really well thought out first scene of the film.
But horrifying.
Yeah, harrowing.
Yes, absolutely.
And that was what they called the prologue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I like it. Was it like cut into like 4 different sections?
I think
so. Yeah, you had prologue and then you had like 4 chapters and then an epilogue.
Yeah.
Which was the end.
That's it. Yep. Yeah, so we cut from that. I mean, it's all about grief, isn't it, and how you handle grief, because he was like clinically depressed at the time of making it, so it's just a way of him, expressing his depression through the film, kind of thing. There's a quote from, I want to chuck out if that's okay, quote from Lars von Trier. People were asking him what the film means, why you did certain things in the film. And he said, you're asking the wrong person, I don't know. You want to ask the chicken how the chicken soup was made. You know what I mean? And that's like the same concept of asking him how this film was made.
Right.
I didn't particularly make it, it just kind of happened.
Yeah. I can understand what he's getting at.
Yeah.
It's very much this, or you can take whatever you want from this film.
Yeah.
But that also gives you license to just make a film full of nonsense and say, figure that out.
It's a bit David Lynchian, like we mentioned before.
I was literally just going to say, David Lynch just literally does that, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He literally just throws out a load of nonsense.
He says, like, if you can understand what it means, let me know, because I don't know myself.
Yeah, part of me thinks that that's just being said. They have their own, every person who does anything artistic, they have some form of vision to it, and they will be open to other people's interpretations of what their art would be, but they have their own, like, notes on it. They can do it in a way where anyone else can have an idea.
Obviously, like, I feel like David Lynch, when he does his, he like has a beginning, middle, and end in mind. But he has, like, I think you've said before, John, where he's just kind of something's coming to his head, and he's like, I'll put that in as well.
He's mentioned he's had dreams about weird stuff, and he's just literally put it in his film. And he said, like, if you could work it out, you let me what it means. Let me know what it means, because I'd love to know, kind of thing.
And I think Lars von Trier kind of done
similar kind of work ethic. Yeah. I mean, we go from there to, like, Charlotte Gainsbourg is just can't handle the grief and the mourning of it, and she's becoming increasingly psychotic at home. Willem Dafoe is trying to treat her, but is getting nowhere, and she makes mention of going to the woods, to the cabin she was at the summer before.
I think what I read there was that because of her fear of nature as one of her fears, it was like a next big fear. He wanted to basically try and fix that by taking her into nature, into a cabin,
almost like Facey Fair kind of mentality. Yep. And she wrote her thesis there the year before about genocide. Is that right?
Yeah.
So the theory is take her back to that point, and it'll help her to get through this grieving period. And that's where things go a bit.
She can, like, at the whole what time though, she's kind of a bit I don't know, she's very sexual, isn't she? Throughout this scene.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I mean, that's literally the comparison with Nymphomaniac. In this film, she's using, like, forceful sex to, like, escape the grief and what have you. And Nymphomaniac's the exact same thing. She's a nymphomaniac because she's trying to get a certain high, and, like, escape other feelings.
Just on Nymphomaniac, just for a second, doesn't she have an issue in that where she actually can't feel anything downstairs? That's why she's just having so much sex.
I can't remember that, to be honest.
I think that
might be part of it. Yeah,
like she can't actually feel anything, so she's desperately trying to.
It's like, it's weird Nymphomaniac. Like, it starts out with that premise, but it turns into, like, murder towards the end of the film, which again is really similar to this film. So yeah, they go to the woods, and it all just goes pear shaped from there. Yeah. I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's I don't actually know where to start.
Well, actually, before it all completely kicks off, Willem Dafoe is visited by a couple of the three beggars.
Yes.
Is it the first one? I think it's the doe. Is it?
Yeah, that's the first one. That one
with the stillborn fawn hanging out of it.
Yeah,
which is just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Was it the?
I think the fox came after
Fox
that.
next, the one that speaks, which was one of my highlights of the film, if I'm totally honest.
That's the start of chapter 3, isn't it? Because the doe happens, and that ties into the whole thing of nature being evil. She's constantly got this thing of nature is evil.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've got a doe with a stillborn fawn hanging out of the back end of it.
Like gruesome.
Yeah, just like dead. It's like saying, like, nature is evil, with that kind of act kind of thing.
What was it the fox said on that? Was it chaos reigns?
Yeah, chewing its own stomach open.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks at him and goes, chaos reigns.
I was like, okay, I like that.
Did you mean that little pun there?
What does the fox say? No, I didn't. But as I said it, I was like,
That's all I thought when you said it.
it's like, what does the fuck say?
Chaos reigns.
Now we know the answer.
I might edit that together. Yeah. Well, the other beggar that's sort of mentioned is the crow.
Yeah.
That he smashes
Which is
its head
freaky
in
as
later on.
fuck, yeah.
It is messed up.
That's a weird scene where it's almost like it's like 2 minutes where he's just hammering at this crow with a rock.
Yeah. It just won't shut up.
Won't shut up. It's mental.
Well, yeah. We'll come on to that bit, I reckon.
Yeah.
But that's after some more disturbing scenes. So
Yeah, well, I think we can jump to that, can we? Because
Should we?
after the fox says chaos reigns, that's when chapter 3 starts, which is called Chaos Reigns.
This is where it all starts.
Yeah, and I think from that point, he goes back to the cabin, and she just attacks him straight away.
Yeah. She's lost it at this point.
Yeah,
basically trying to rape him, isn't she?
she gets him.
Well-
She gets him on the floor, and he's fighting her off. And she gets that big lump of wood or whatever it was. Was it the weight thing she hits him
It's a
with? or-
rock. No, it's a
I know
rock.
I know exactly what you're about to say, right? She slams it into his groinal region.
Yeah.
Right? And he passes out.
There's a bit of crushing going on there with the whatever it is.
But that's what made him pass out.
Does that happen?
The way I looked at it, that's what I thought happened.
I was expecting like some
wrong?
high pitched squealing or something. Oh, that's definitely what happened.
Right.
She squashes his testicular
Testicles.
area,
Yeah.
completely squashes him,
Yeah.
and he's just straight out.
And while he's passed out, she proceeds to
So, how can we put this in the nicest way for a podcast? She begins performing a sex act on him
Yeah,
whilst he's managed to maintain an erection whilst passed out.
yeah.
I wanted to bring that up
and
because I didn't know that was a possibility.
and he how do we go about
Do I
saying-
just say it and then bleep it out, or do we?
It's a podcast.
Yeah,
Does it
say
need to
it.
be censored?
Yeah. Basically, she performs
Sexual act.
a sexual act on him, yes.
Yeah.
And finishes him off.
Can I just cut in on? Can I just cut in at that one bit? There's something I forgot to mention on the podcast this week. No Weinstein update. Just reminded me.
But and instead of the normal stuff coming,
He basically.
yeah,
I don't know if I'll bleep that.
yeah,
I might just for common
and
decency.
before
I
and
mean,
just-
this isn't even like an 18 rated podcast. This kids can download this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick, carry on.
after that happens, she gets a drill and she gets a grinder, doesn't she?
Yeah,
it's
like a hand drill thing into and the grinder
and the
as well.
grinder.
like-
She unbolts this grinder from the thing, brings it down, and it's hand drill, and she hand drills through his leg, and bolts this big heavy grindstone
Yeah.
into his leg, and gets rid of the wrench, doesn't she?
Yeah, I mean, it's such an awkward thing. It looks like he's got like just a wheel on his leg or something. Like he could just almost like get one of the other leg and just scoot around on that. Yeah, such a weird look. Just
Yeah, it was like quite an odd thing, that one. Yeah.
and like from this point, she goes out somewhere, doesn't she, or something?
He wakes up.
He wakes up. I love the acting of him waking up because he's had his testicles crushed and his leg drilled through, and he wakes up just shaking. Like just the pain of it. Just like just shaking.
I feel like it wasn't shaking in anger.
No, it's shaking like
shaking
as in,
because he's like lost so much pain.
Yeah.
Lost so much blood and he's cold and
yeah. So he crawls out of the house
into the woods.
into the woods to a foxhole that we previously saw earlier.
Yeah,
She comes looking for him.
and this is where we come across the crow, isn't it?
Yeah, he crawls into the foxhole.
This
Feet are still poking out the back.
this is creepy. This though,
Yeah.
because when he goes in there, the crow obviously starts squawking, and she can hear that, and so she figures out where he is
I mean,
now.
she's creepy enough anyway because she's walking around the forest or the woods, just shouting like, "Where are you? You left me. Where are you?"
I got a very Shining feel to some of that.
Yeah,
where
definitely,
snowy sort of. There's a maniac after me.
Yeah, definitely.
But with the sex is reversed.
I mean, I think this is a creepy film. Like,
I do.
it's weird. Like,
Yeah, weird. Definitely weird.
yeah,
So yeah, he gets into this hole and starts trying to kill the crow, but it's graphic. Like they show him trying to kill this crow. It's not just like camera pans away and you hear like a.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that. Like you see him trying to smash this crow apart. But
just the way he finds it and like digs it out of like the dirt and stuff. It's just weird, isn't it? And then it starts just cawing at him like
it's weird.
He's like, shut up.
It is odd. It's really odd.
So yeah, she eventually finds him, doesn't she?
But I like the bit where she finds him because like she stood right above him and she finds him and she's like, get out, fucking get out of the hole. Just shouts at him, get out.
Didn't she knock him out? No, she actually digged him back out.
She goes and gets a spade. Yeah.
Does she not like bury him in or?
She buries him at first, then digs him out, kind of thing. Yeah. Because she starts digging through the foxhole from the top, and it all just caves in on him.
Digs him out and carries him back.
Yeah,
she?
drags him back again. And I mean, we're nearly at the end of it, aren't we? To be honest, this is the
I was gonna say a lot of this sort of merges together into.
Yeah, I mean, can I just jump onto a subplot here as well?
Yes.
There's a running theme throughout the film that she's not just suddenly gone mad. She's always been fucking a bit kooky. Because this is really creepy, I find. There's a really creepy subplot about how he's been looking at photos and bone records of his son. And he's found out that for some whatever reason, the mother was dressing the child who died falling out the window with shoes on the wrong way his whole life, so his feet were deformed and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, the mother had been putting like the left shoe on the right foot and the right shoe on the left foot. And he had the bone records of his child, like the feet were deformed.
Right.
And it's because he had all these photos of the kid with the shoes on the wrong way around.
I feel like someone else would notice this happening.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know.
But do you know what's mad? Like you've mentioned that. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Like when I was thinking back about the film.
It's a little weird thing because it points to like the occult thing that like me and Nick have spoke about this before. Like there's an occult kind of feel, like a witch coven kind of feel to the film. And that's definitely like something like that. Even like I was trying to Google some stuff last night and I was finding like, is it a sign of the devil or is that why it's called Antichrist? You know, stuff like that. Like,
well, I definitely feel like she's been possessed by something like a witch or something.
Yeah.
That's like after her for like pleasure, like using the body for pleasure and pain and all this stuff. Which leads into one of the next scenes we're about to talk about.
Just going off that as well, the whole thing of she's referring to nature being evil. Paganism is like the worship of nature, which is seen as, some people see it as like, you know, it's a witch coven or something. Witches and what have you. And that ties into the whole pagan thing of nature being evil, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah. I just found that so weird, the whole bone thing in the feet.
Would that imply that like if she was like possessed, that she's been possessed for quite a while or something?
Well, that's like a year before she was doing that. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Would that imply that she's been like possessed for a long time, not just since she got to the woods?
Maybe. I mean, I think she's just mental. Do you know what I mean? I think she just lost it. It's showing that she didn't lose the plot because a child died. She'd lost the plot.
It could have been the catalyst.
Yeah,
Which like if like you were talking before about the memory of potentially like her seeing the kid go, like that could tie into it as well if it's a real memory kind of thing.
I mean, I might throw this in here. I was going to save it for the end, but like I think the creepiest scene in the film is a flashback to the thing from a year before at the cabin when the child was with her, and she can hear the child's gone missing, and she can hear it crying, and she's running around everywhere trying to find it, and she finally finds it in a stable. But the child's just sat there looking at her, not crying. She can still hear the child crying. Do you know the bit? That to me was proper messing my head. I was like, oh my god, that is terrifying.
That is. If
she finds the child that is fine, she's looking at her, and she can still hear this kid crying in her head. Like
if this film had more of that in it, I'd have coped less well with it. Like, because no point of this, I was like scared or like some of it, I was like, what does this mean? But if they had more of that in it, I'd have lost my mind.
Yeah,
I'd have just not been.
That is proper like.
That's the worst type of horror.
Nightmarish. Like, yes, yeah.
That's exactly what it is because it's not any of this like shitty jump scares or anything. It's the psychologically, what the fuck are you trying to do to me here type feel.
And it goes back to the thing Nick mentioned. I think you meant to. It's asking you to think for yourself. Do you think she's just hearing that voice in her head and she's lost the plot, or is it like a genuinely an occult thing? You know, like.
I mean, do we go into that scene which is just a bit it's not like scary, it's just disgusting.
Are we talking the genital mutilation scene?
That's the one. Basically, like my interpretation is that like she has been like possessed by something, and like basically for me, that has to have a purpose. That self-mutilation. I'll talk to Winman because he's not seen it all. Basically, she there's a very lovely shot, and it's looking straight at her private parts, and she grabs a pair of scissors and in full view of the camera, she just snips herself and
See the
and the sound is disgusting. Her bloody squeal afterwards is disgusting.
Like, do you know what we said before about how you see the crow getting its head bashed in and it's fine? Like, this film does not shy away from any of these graphic shots. You see everything in this film.
But like my thoughts with that is that, like, instead of that just being a pointless scene which the director really wanted to put in, I like the idea that, like, she was possessed, this woman, and in order to make herself useless to this witch that's using her for pleasure and pain and the sorts, she's pretty much taking that away from the witch so that she's useless to the witch.
Makes sense as a theory.
Yeah, as a theory, that's probably a good theory. That, yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better theory, to be honest. Like, not off the top of my head.
I mean, I just think she's mental.
Do you know, I think it could be like, all right, let's go with the mental one. Let's say that she was doing that to stop her body having a certain amount of the pleasure and pain that she requires. Like,
I don't think it's that literal. I think it's just literally like, I think it's more like the director. It's like an example of how women. I think the whole film is
women are evil.
Women are just there to pleasure men, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like by doing that, she can't do that anymore.
Isn't the gist of this film that all women are evil? It's not what I picked.
I think it's more. I think the film's more about the horrors that are performed to women,
right,
by men. You know what I mean? And he thinks he's doing the right thing by thinking he can treat her and stuff, and he hasn't got a clue what he's doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
see, I feel like none of us understand this film.
Yeah, definitely.
I genuinely don't.
after this scene though, like, it basically the end, and like,
How do you want to explain it?
I mean, I don't know, but basically, like, he stands up, doesn't he? And like, I would have thought, like, at this point, if my theory is correct, like she'd be kind of sane. And to be fair, she looked almost a bit better, kind of, I guess.
I mean, she's attacking him because he's hurriedly trying to knock the grindstone out of his leg before she keeps attacking him,
True,
which is a mad scene. He's like hammering it out of his own leg.
Yeah.
Then finally gets up.
But
and just puts an end to it. Kind
yeah,
of thing.
like again, like you can see it. You can see his thumbs like in her throat,
Crushing
and,
the
and you
throat,
can
like,
see her eyes bulging and going red.
So graphic.
Yeah, like it does.
She looked like she was dying.
It doesn't shy her off away from anything, does it?
Yeah.
But like, are we saying he killed her because? Well, actually, everything that just happened, that's probably why he killed her, really. But
well, the gist of it, isn't it? The three beggars are there, so the three animals are in the house.
Yeah.
And when they all come at the same time, someone's dying.
Someone has to die.
Yeah.
and he wanted it to not be him.
Yeah.
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 So he kills her, and we're pretty much at the end of the film, aren't we?
Yeah.
He leaves the cabin, eats some wild berries, just
randomly. But are they hallucinogenic berries?
Oh,
is that well?
I'm not. That could be too literal. Or look at what's about to come.
Yeah, because that very final scene, like, I don't have a clue what that was about.
All right.
Again, I just think it's a case of like women's revenge on men or something. You know, like
But like what actually happened?
All
Because
right, explain it to
yeah,
someone.
let's explain it. He eats a load of wild berries. He's walking through the woods, gets to the top of a clearing, doesn't he? Looks down in the woods, and just an army of women just appear out of nowhere. Again, that music. Is this the epilogue? This?
Yeah, I mean this is the epilogue.
Black and white again, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. That music's playing again, and an army of women just appear from nowhere in the forest, just marching towards him.
and they're all blur faces.
They all got blanked out faces. Yeah,
And they all surround him.
they all surround him. Yeah,
But,
and the
like,
film just ends.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Nothing happened to him because I was trying to look in the crowd. Nothing happened, did it? You couldn't see anything that actually happened to him, did you?
Just weird.
You just seen like literally a flow of women just constantly going up and down the hill and around the hill kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to watch the rest of this like depression trilogy. However, I don't understand this film but I'd only ever go back and watch it again if I really liked the next two in this unofficial trilogy, because this film did. I'm not going to rate it that highly, to be honest.
The other two are a lot more story driven. You can actually follow the other
Right,
two.
okay.
You know what I mean? You're not wondering what's happened at the end of it, kind of thing.
From like what I've heard from you talking about it, like there was barely any plot to what you were talking about.
No,
You were just
you're
going,
right.
there was this creepy scene, and there's this creepy
Yeah.
scene, and then there was this creepy scene. Like,
It's a sequence of events that you're supposed to make sense of yourself.
but then it felt like there's no conclusion from what you're saying. Sort of, he just went into the woods. There was a clearing.
Well, he
But it's just like-
just kind of kills him and then he goes.
Yeah,
The only the best part of that whole story for me was the first scene, and then a lot of the rest of it. I know there's a point to like torture, horror porn sort of thing where it's like, oh, look at this graphic stuff we're putting in. I get that that's an aspect of this film, and that is one of the reasons it's called Antichrist, because it's just the most fucked up sort of film you could really watch. But some of it lends itself to like not being. I don't take it as seriously if you're only achieving some of the shocks you are by physically showing you these gruesome scenes.
I don't think he's going for that. I don't think he's, going for just to shock people.
Yeah.
I think he's probably just working out his own issues through the film.
Possibly, yeah,
Depressed
possibly,
at the time kind of
totally
thing,
could
so-
be that. And yeah.
serious issues.
Yeah, and it was quite an experimental film. It was done really cheaply, I believe, and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
He's,
I like I said, I can see why they've done that. I'm just saying, like,
There's literally three
Yeah.
people in the entire film, isn't there?
yeah,
So
two of them haven't even got names.
yeah,
did the child have names? Yeah.
yeah. Nick, I think he was called.
Oh,
the kid.
Nick.
I think anyway.
Actually, yeah, I think you're right because I remember
Yeah.
him saying, I was like, yeah.
So I was
We were too
it's funny weird that the kid had a name, but they were called he and she.
we were too busy doing the pod, and Nick will jump out of a window. All right, well, have we got any more points on, or should we move on to ratings?
Yeah, I've just got a few notes if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just the look of the film. I mean, it looks really good.
I like the look.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I
and
like the
it's
scenery.
got some of those really weird like tableaus where like Willem Dafoe just stood there with acorns falling around him and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
Yeah, good cinematography as well. And they won awards for it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's weird because it changes from those tableau kind of shots to like really close up handheld stuff. Normally, films would never go from those wide angle tableaus to like this really handheld close up feel to like the Blair Witch all of a sudden when she's running away in the woods and stuff. And
yeah,
it got a really weird feel to it. One bit that I did find creepy: the train journey to the woods. Did you notice the freeze frames of like her screaming face in the window, in the reflection of the window?
I can't say I did.
They were in the train and like the going towards the woods, and it goes through like a dark tunnel, and it has these flashes of her just face like twisted like in the.
I love
in
shit
the-
like that though. Like,
Yeah, just literally like not even half a second, probably just a flash of it, like one frame probably.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, that was creepy. It's really weird. Like,
That's the sort of terrifying shit with the crying child that's not crying.
yeah,
Can't cope with stuff like that.
that was my note. That scene and the crying child, like for me, were just like, oh, that is creepy. Like,
Yeah.
that's so weird. We mentioned the stillborn fawn. One bit that really creeped me out as well, when he awakens in the cabin and his hand's out the window,
Yeah,
he
that
pulls it
creeped me
back
out.
in, and there's like ticks or lice all over his
Yeah.
hand, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, and he's like pulls them off, doesn't he? And it's
Yeah.
like, I was like, that's another thing, isn't it? Where it's just people have nightmares of like insects crawling all over them.
Yeah.
Like that's like a physical embodiment of that type of fear.
Feel
Yeah.
like this film was just one big mashup of fears.
Creepy
Wasn't it?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too spooky for me.
And last point, I'm just doing a bit of Googling before we started. Apparently, the three beggars represents pain, grief, and despair. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about moments like that, I look back and go, all right, well, that's the sort of stuff I want more of in that film, where it's not just a bit plodding.
Yeah,
I think
definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's
it plods along with this plot that there isn't really a plot.
Yeah.
But they have good moments, but only if you're picking up on them.
yeah,
Should we do ratings?
yep, sounds good.
For me, I can't give it any more than a 2 out of 5. But with
Bringing the hammer there.
yeah, I can't give it more than a 2 out of 5. I enjoyed and thought that the first sequence, like the first 3 minutes or something like that.
I think it must put him on like 10 minutes. To be honest, I think it
It
goes on
fell
longer than you
short,
think.
but
Like,
yeah, probably. But
Yeah.
that starting sequence for me would be like a 5 out of 5. So
Yeah.
similar to like how I said the Mist The Mist has got like a 5 out of 5 ending. This is a 5 out of 5 start. And there were aspects I enjoyed throughout the film, and I usually like a weird film, like a psychologically odd film, and I appreciate that this is somebody's vision, and that's cool, and it's definitely out there. But for me, I can't really give it more than a 2 out of 5 because I didn't really enjoy it. It happened in front of my eyes.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Didn't really.
I don't think it's a film you're really supposed to enjoy.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it's not supposed to be something you enjoy, and it's something that you just take in and kind of just either not enjoy it, but you either understand it or you don't. And there are aspects I understand, and there are aspects I don't. I probably would watch it again at some point, but I'd like to watch the other films in the unofficial trilogy first.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm going to give it. 2 out of 5 on... It could stretch to a 2.5 if there was a few other things in there. And maybe if I rewatched it, it'd be a 2.5. I've spoken about my rating too long now. So let's move on to yours, Nick. What'd you give it?
I'd give it a 4.
Yeah.
I thought I loved this film. Well, I say loved it. That's a bit... yeah. I don't know how to word it because I want to say enjoyed, but I definitely didn't enjoy it. But I think like you said, I appreciated this film, and I like you say, the color in it. I love the colors and like the scenes, the location. Sorry.
Sorry, can I just jump in there as well? One other thing I forgot, like those weird tableau shots when they're having sex at the tree and all the arms are just coming out of the base of the tree.
That was a really
that's
weird
amazing.
There's another dead interesting looking shot. I can't fault that.
And then going on from that later on, when she's like having this weird tableau thing of her running through the woods, and there's just female bodies.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Did you notice that? Like in the base of the trees and stuff. And it's like
When you remind me of stuff like that, I'm like, well, I should be upping this to a 2.5 because if you took individual shots as like pieces of art, I'd be like, that's an amazing shot, or that's an amazing idea.
yeah. Like I said, the colours, the colour of it's just amazing. Kind of thing.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Like it was weird because there was some like very very bright colours in it, but it always felt really glum and grim throughout, I think.
Yeah.
But I went into this film thinking like hearing about certain things that happened, namely the mutilation and the hitting him with a rock.
The genital stuff of the film.
Well, yeah, I went into it and I was like, I'm not going to enjoy this film. This is going to be disgusting. I'm going to be hidden behind a bloody cushion the entire time. But it shocked me. It actually shocked me because like I really enjoyed. I can't say enjoyed. I didn't enjoy the film. I just appreciated the film like a lot. So yeah, 4 out of 5.
It's more like an experience, isn't it, than anything. I'm on the same kind of boat. I can't really justify why I'm doing this, but I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Like, it's not a film, as you mentioned, you enjoy, but in terms of appreciating it, there's nothing in this film I would want to change. You know, in terms of going to a film and saying like, oh, if I was doing that, I'd change that. I wouldn't want to change anything in this film. It's not the kind of film you'll whip out every 6 months to watch. Like, but in a couple of years, I'll definitely go back to it again and watch it and think, yeah, it's an experience. And there's no other film like it out there that, you know, that's something to say for it.
From that final discussion, I'm probably going to bump mine up to a 2.5, you know, because you reminded me of stuff that I remember seeing and going, that was amazing.
But I think 2's an honest rating for it because you check Metacritic, there's 50% of people absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
50% of people love it.
But I'm bang on in the middle of this because
Right.
I like kind of love it and hate it. Like,
Yeah.
I love the vision. I love the ideas. I don't love everything about it. But like you were saying there, I probably wouldn't change anything in it because that is what the point of this film is. And you said then it's like an experience, isn't it? It's not like a film.
Almost like a work of art kind of thing. Yeah. Like Roger Ebert, we've mentioned a lot, haven't we? But
Yeah.
when he first watched it, he said, I didn't like anything about it, but I can commend Lars von Trier for making it because it's clearly where his head was at the time kind of thing. Like,
that's exactly what I love about that.
Yeah.
Like that's the bit I love about this film.
Yeah.
That is exactly what that person was at that time.
Exactly, yeah.
Like,
you can tell he's working through issues making the film.
You can hear it in music and stuff as well. Not like, I don't mean the music from this film, but in there are albums and stuff that you can listen to and go, that's an amazing album. I don't love it, but that is what that is there and then.
Yeah, it means something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I can see that in this film, that it means something.
it means something to the director at the time of making it, and it now means something to the people who watched it in a
Yeah,
totally
and
different
I
context
totally
kind of thing.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to do our episode on ratings because that was not the rating that I thought you were going to give.
Oh, really?
After you talked about it, and yeah, like after your discussion, then sort of like with ratings and stuff like that, is we need to.
I'm quite.
I think
We
it'd
need
be
to do
good.
that
I think it'd be
episode.
a good discussion. Like,
I think what we could do in a sort of later episode is we just go and get all our old ratings, sift through them, and be like, right.
I've got to admit that the Lost City of Z giving that 5 stars, I'm like, I might go back and watch that.
In them, and obviously we can't get a rating off you, but from our discussion, is this something that you'd ever be interested in watching? Or?
I think I probably would watch it. What I was going to say, instead of me giving it a rating, if I had, what rating do you think I would have given it had I watched it?
1.
I think you'd give it 4.5. I'm going high.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one, that.
It's no Taken.
Because with the fact that you like certain like being John Malkovich and stuff like that.
I definitely thought you were about to say, because you like shit film.
No, because like you seem to have an appreciation for like artistic kind of films and that. So I feel
That's the feeling I got from you guys. Like when you talk about it, that there's a lot of artistic scenes in there, and I
feel
do quite
given
like
that you might have given it a higher rating than 1. So I'm thinking you'd probably giving it maybe like John said 4.5.
Again, like I said, Sam's favourite film's Taken.
I think you should watch it for next week. Antichrist.
All right.
I'd love you to watch that for next week, and we can have your opinion on it.
Yeah. What did you predict Eamon will give it?
I'm going for a 4 or 4.5, like on the higher end of the spectrum.
You
anyway.
said 4, John.
4.5. I'm sticking with.
I'll go for 1.5
Okay.
or a 0. Throw it out there. All right, we're pretty much finished for the week, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah,
Nicholas, would you mind giving away the social media this week?
I will do that. Okay, we're on Twitter at DST Podcast.
That's going to be your shirt. John's got one last thing.
Yep.
Your one's we're on Twitter and then the tagline.
Yeah, the reason it took so long is because I normally say we're at Twitter on. So I just needed to make sure I got it right this time. We're on Instagram. You're gonna have to remind me, and I don't know what.
Don't spoil the ending.
Don't spoil the end. I could never know if we're at DST Podcast or something on that.
No longer DST Podcast 4.
Which
Don't spoil the ending.
Which
though.
actually reminds me, I made some shitty banners for the Twitter and Facebook one. Now they're now incorrect.
Really?
They have the Instagram /DST
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
This
I
this,
thought we
sa-
were going to somewhere different then.
this sounds very much like admin we do off the pod. Do you know those banners? They're out
No,
there,
I'm just saying we should change them. But we're also on Facebook at facebook.com/DST podcast. Or just search Don't Spoil the Ending in the search bar. That's fine. I personally am on Twitter at DST Nick. Forgot me on Twitter. I think that's it. At DST
Is that
Nick.
my name?
You in?
I'm on Twitter at Rubik's Football.
I'm at Taylor1980, and you can email us at don'tspoiltheending@gmail.com.
And I'm it's Joe on Twitter.
Yep.
YEH.
Oh, beat me to it.
All right. So good episode, guys.
Yep, cheers, boys.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
I'll edit it.
Happy Halloween, guys. Yeah.
Ooh, spooky.
Go and watch Antichrist. That'll terrify you.
Yeah. And we'll be back next week for a new show.
For a bonfire night show.
Have we got any ideas for a film for next week, or
We were thinking the Simpsons film, weren't we?
That was actually what we were
Yeah.
going to do, wasn't it? Simpsons movie.
But,
Would be okay with that? Or do you want to do Simpsons episodes, some of the best of episodes?
see, I feel like we could just do a Simpsons mega show.
Yeah.
Go and watch some old Simpsons episodes. Do the main film.
There's some great stuff in there.
Play
No.
Simpsons hit and run.
Should we do the Simpsons mega show next week?
Please, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's watch some of the. Let's go and look at what the best rated episodes are. Get some of our favourite moments together of The Simpsons.
I've mentioned it loads in the office, but the Frank Grimes episode.
I think that is rated the
Is
best.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Definitely, I'm doing that.
Not monorail. Not.
I'll have it.
It's all-
We're going
I love that as
to
well.
include that.
We need to all go away, do some research on.
Do you remember
best
the
Simpsons
"See My
episodes.
Vest," Mr.
Yes.
Burns song?
Yes, I do.
Oh, gonna be great.
Let's do it. Let's get out of Shocktober and we'll do a Simpsons mega show next week.
Sounds great.
Awesome.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Is that hidden away in the audio then?
Yeah, it'll be like
That's great.
It's like
Yeah,
the
that's
start,
almost
like,
even
That's
better.
even better. Like that it's subliminally in the show.
Right, I can stop this now. Yeah, that'd be long.
Still recording.
That's all recording.